This is where the New King James Version departed from the Textus Receptus. This is the passage in question. 1 John 3:16 says, "By this we know love, because he laid down his life for us, and we also ought to lay down our lives for the brethren." And this is one of those cases in which it's claimed that this is where the New King James Version departed from the Textus Receptus, because in the Textus Receptus it says, "By this we know the love of God, because he laid down his life for us." And so the New King James Version doesn't have "of God" in here. This is departed from the Textus Receptus. And Scrivener's Textus Receptus has "of God" in there, to theou. By this we know the agape to theou, the love of God. When we take a look at this, what we discover is that this actually is not an open and shut case. Now, what I wanted to do is just bring attention to this discussion that I had with Dr. Timothy Decker. There's just a brief little section here that's about three and a half minutes long, where we discuss this. Now, Dr. Timothy Decker, he has done some tremendous work in the field, and especially some work with the Textus Receptus, where he had collated 22 editions of the Textus Receptus and provided an apparatus for all the differences between these 22 editions of the Textus Receptus, and that's freely available. I want to draw attention to this point in the video where I specifically asked him about 1 John 3:16, and this is his response.
King James read, "Hereby we perceive the love of God, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren." Now, I use the NKJV. I like to push that one. That's my favorite. But the NKJV, which is a TR translation, does not contain "of God." So hereby perceive we love, because he laid down his life. 1 John 3:16.
Okay.
Now, I would be curious, in your multi-edition collation, what's happening with "of God" there?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I have it. I wish I could share my screen. So it is.
We could do that.
Well,
I'll
leave that up to you. I'll leave that up to you.
Okay, here, let me pop that up here.
Let me know when you can see it. All right.
Okay.
So it actually is it's set up to go here. Here's verse 16.
Yeah.
Here's the variant we're talking about, to theou.
Yeah.
And here is the apparatus. Okay.
Okay.
So all of those that omit it, and we're talking about a lot here.
Yeah.
Would be, the Elsevier's, Beza's first edition. And by the way, he had a Latin edition before his 1565. I didn't do,
right,
because I hope for obvious reasons. Anyways, but all of Stephanus did not have it. But where is it included, I guess, is the question. Even the later Oxford 1873 edition omits it. So that's a major difference between Scrivener and the just prior to that, the earlier. So the one that has it was going to be Stephanus. He has it in his margin in the 1550. So that's the really important Stephanus one.
Yeah.
And then Beza's second, or I guess his third, fourth, and fifth, depending on how you want to count Beza. But especially his 1598, the one that the King James would use, they include it. Everyone else does not. From Erasmus.
Okay, now that's the key, and this is why this is an interesting variant. So most of the Textus Receptus editions do not contain "of God." They don't have it. All of Erasmus's editions, Aldine, Gerbelius, Kopfels, Collinius, Stephanus's editions don't have it. Stephanus's 1546, 49, 1550, and his what is it? The regalia, major regalia. I forget what you call that. But his 1551 edition didn't contain it. Didn't have it. Beza's 2 editions, Elsevier 2 editions, Oxford doesn't have it. We only have it in 3 editions, Beza's 3 editions, and then there's a marginal note in Stephanus's 1550 edition. So if you were looking at this, would you say that the reading without "of God" in there is that a Textus Receptus reading? Well, based on a consensus of the Textus Receptus editions, it appears that it would be a TR reading. So it looks like whether we have "of God" or not "of God" in the passage, we have a TR reading either way. So 1 John 3:16 really doesn't count unless you're willing to say that those editions are not Textus Receptus editions. And I don't know anyone who would say that. So that doesn't work. That doesn't work. All right, let's keep going. There's only about a minute left here.
Smith, Aldine, Gabellius, Kopfel, Collineus, Stephanus, Elzevirs, Oxford, they all omit it. And so it only appears in a few of these manuscripts.
So if I'm looking at this right in your apparatus, the only ones that contain it is a marginal reading in Stephanus 1550, and then Beza's 1582, 1588, and 1598 editions.
Yes, and those
are
interesting. Those are his folio editions. Like I said, I didn't check the octavo, his minor editions. They could be there. So I'll give that caveat that I don't know. I've not checked.
Okay.
I could do it real fast, but I don't know, real fast, but I don't have it ready to go to give you that answer yet.
Right. I can't remember whether or not the KJV italicized that. Anyway, yeah, that's just something interesting that I've seen.
All right. That's enough there. Yeah. So you get my point here. So if we come back to, where was it? If we come back to this, whether or not you have of God on the end of this or not, it's a Textus Receptus reading either way, because the Textus Receptus editions, they're split there. In fact, majority of the Textus Receptus editions don't have it, which is interesting. But yeah, I was planning on using that little section earlier on, and we just never got to it. But that's pretty much it for today. I hope you guys found this helpful.